welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another monthly meal prep. I do these videos pretty often and it just helps me get through the month, and I'm able to kind of have some things thrown in the freezer or put in the pantry that I can pull out and heat up. And it's just a great way for me to manage being mom and working and all of those things. If you're new here, don't forget that all of the recipes, ingredients, and instructions are in the description box, as well as the links to pin these recipes. And if you're coming from Pinterest, you can jump right down to the description box and it will give you the timestamp to jump right to the recipe you're looking for. Today's video is sponsored by IHerb. I want to say a big thank you to them. I have a little grocery haul from them to show you all, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to use some of the ingredients from IHerb in my recipes today. Here is everything I picked up from IHerb, and some of these things I am so excited about because I've literally been looking for months for a few of them, and I was able to find them with IHerb. And some of these are actually things I needed to restock on, so I went ahead and grabbed a few of those things. I picked up some Primal Kitchen mayo and ranch. I use both of these all of the time. This is a Nashville hot chicken spice that we're going to be using today on some of our chicken. I was out of apple cider vinegar as well as coconut oil. This is a zero sugar Nutella, which is really delicious. I kind of got into a few of these things because I was dying to try them. I love Choc Zero, milk chocolate. This was one thing I've been looking for forever. It's brownie brittle, but it's keto chocolate chip cookies. So I got some snacky stuff along with ingredients to make recipes. I got some brownie mix, some unsweetened coconut flakes because I want to make some more grain-free granola soon. This is one of my favorite brands, Epic, and it's their barbecue seasoned pork rinds. Whisk for something I eat all the time. And then these, oh my goodness, I was so thrilled to see these. I have been looking and looking and looking for these. So they are wraps that are made out of coconut. I got the original. I got the one that has turmeric in it, and then a cinnamon one. I thought this with cream cheese would be so delicious rolled up. And then this is something that I've actually had before and love. It's a really great alternative to sugary chocolate milk drinks. And I got some horseradish mustard, some Sleepy Time mint tea. It's one of my favorites that I like to use in the evenings, and I could not be more thrilled with this haul. I'm so happy with everything. Everything came at the perfect temperature that it was supposed to be at. IHerb carries over 30,000 natural products and ships to over 180 countries. Their orders are shipped from a climate-controlled distribution center to ensure the quality of their products. IHerb offers customer service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in 10 different languages. IHerb just launched a revamped rewards program that's Give 5%, Get 5% for referring existing customers, or $5 for referring new customers. IHerb offers super rewards when you refer IHerb brand product to friends or family. Give 10%, get 10% for referring existing customers, or $10 for referring new customers. Answer questions posted by other customers or visitors regarding products you have purchased in the past and get 10 cents in rewards credit for each helpful vote your answer gets, up to $100. Review the products you have purchased at IHerb and get $1 in rewards credit for each review you post. Plus, get 10 cents in rewards credit for each helpful vote, up to $100. Don't forget to check out the link and the discount code in the description box below. Try out IHerb. I have loved every single part of my order with them, and all of the products I received, they were in great condition and exactly like they would be if I got them off of the grocery store shelf. Alright, so now that I've shown you guys a little bit about that, let's get cooking. The first recipe we're going to make today is some really healthy granola bars. You would not have to have a mold like this. There's actually 2 of them here. But I'm going to try and use a mold like this just to make it a little bit easier. That way I can just pop them out. This is a no-bake recipe, so we'll do a little bit of cooking on the stovetop, but you don't have to bake them at all. These things are all from IHerb, and this recipe is going to be super simple, so let's get started. You'll want to chop up the nuts and the shredded coconut into a good, I don't know, I'd say a good rough chop. You could actually possibly do this in a food processor as well. I don't have one, so I just went ahead and used my knife and chopped it up the best that I could, and honestly it worked out perfect. And you're gonna want to work really quickly with this next part, so you'll add your sweetener and your coconut cream and whisk and whisk and whisk until it turns a golden brown. And you're gonna see here in a little bit that mine got really dark, and I actually kind of wish it would have been a little bit lighter. So you definitely want to pull it off as soon as you start seeing that golden look come to the mixture. And then if you're using a pan, you can go ahead and press it into the pan, or you can press it into molds, but just make sure you give some good pressure to it so that it sticks all of the ingredients together. Whenever you put the chocolate chips on, you definitely want the mixture to still be pretty warm or hot, and you can leave it sit out on the counter so they can melt into your bars. You'll refrigerate it for a little while till it hardens, and then you can pull everything out of either your pan or the molds. And these were really delicious. I'm definitely going to be making these again. So pausing to talk between recipes is a little bit of a throwback. If you guys have watched for a while, you know that. But I am planning now to make some chicken strips up. These are such a great thing to have around whenever you want to throw them on a salad or just want to heat up something really quick for your kids to eat that's a protein, that kind of thing. So I'm going to do some ranch chicken strips, and I'll turn the camera around and show you how I'm going to do that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Primal Kitchen Ranch. You could use regular ranch dressing, but one thing I really like about this ranch is it's more of a vinaigrette style ranch. It's not quite as creamy as some of the ranches. So if you were going to use a regular ranch, I probably would suggest adding in a little bit of vinegar and oil just to thin it down to make it more like a marinade. So for this recipe, I actually used 3 chicken breasts. I think it was a perfect amount because it made it so that my chicken kind of sat in the marinade as it cooked in the oven and really bathed it well into the marinade. We're gonna make up some blender brownies, and I have all of the ingredients sitting here. We got some peanut butter, some avocados, and whenever you do this, you really want extremely ripe avocados. In fact, whenever I open these up, they could be a little bit brown on the inside. That's fine. It's all gonna get blended into the brownies. I'm gonna sprinkle the tops of them with some chocolate chips. I've got some coconut oil, some xylitol, some cocoa powder, and some baking soda. So we'll get this all blended up, and I'm going to use the same molds that I used for the granola bars. This recipe is so stinking simple just because you throw everything into the blender, blend it up, bake it, and you're good to go. One little tip I'll give you is this recipe's extra delicious if you can find a dark cocoa powder instead of a regular cocoa powder. So as you can see, I'm dumping all of the batter into a Ziploc bag, and it's just easier to put things into molds. I like to do this with muffins and cupcakes as well. It just makes for less mess and easy cleanup.
These were super, super yummy. My only regret is that I did not spray out my molds and I should have oiled them first. So make sure that you oil your molds or your pan before you put the batter in.
Know that I like to make meatballs a lot in meal prep. They're just something that's simple to pull out of the freezer and reheat. So today I'm going to be making up some meatballs that have a little twist to them, and I think they're going to turn out really, really good. So as always, I like to keep things super, super simple. So I have a pound of ground beef here. I have 1 egg, and then I'm going to smash up these pork cracklings. They are maple bacon seasoning on them, and it's 2.5 ounces of them. So kind of in place of like breadcrumbs or something like that. I thought they would give a really great flavor. And since these already have salt and seasonings on them, I'm not going to add extra salt to these, and I think they'll turn out great.
These meatballs would be so great with any kind of sauce, and if you have them in the freezer, you can do a different sauce each time you pull them out to eat them, and you can also double or triple the batch if you want to.
Alright, so this is more of a weekly meal prep thing. I wouldn't necessarily suggest doing this for a month, although I've never tried pre-cooking wings and then putting them in the freezer and then putting them in the air fryer to reheat them. So maybe I'll have to do a little test run and let you guys know in a meal prep sometime soon if that works. But I'm just going to actually make these up, have them in the refrigerator, and then throw them in the air fryer for my lunch probably 2 or 3 times this week. So I've got this firecracker seasoning. It is from IHerb, and I'm really excited because it's one of my favorite flavors when it comes to wings. So I'm going to put these into a bag with a little bit of probably some avocado oil. You could use olive oil as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some of the seasoning in, toss it all together, put it into the air fryer, and then I will just put them in the refrigerator. That way I can just kind of heat them up in here and get them a little bit crunchy before I eat them.
You could use a lot of different spices for this. It's kind of a simple way to make wings is just to use a avocado oil, just because there's not a lot of flavor to avocado oil and it pairs well with any type of spice.
Alright, now I'm going to make up a nice batch of really, really simple waffles. These are both dairy-free and gluten-free, and I love having waffles in the freezer. It's such a simple way to make something really healthy that has lots of protein and stuff in it, but you feel like you're kind of getting something that's not as healthy. I guess it's easy to hide healthy ingredients in waffles. At least I've experienced that. If you guys have watched my channel for a long time, you know that I have made lots and lots of different kinds of waffles, but this is a pretty basic recipe, and I just want to get these whipped up, so I've got them stocked in the freezer.
So as it goes with most waffle recipes, a lot of how waffles taste and their texture has to do with how you mix them up. And this specific recipe, you want to mix the dry ingredients separate from the wet ingredients. So you'll mix the dry ingredients in one bowl, the wet ingredients in a separate bowl, and then you'll combine the two before you start to put them into the waffle pan. Thank you guys so much for watching today. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love it if you joined me. Also, let me know in the comments which recipe looked the best to you. Don't forget that you can pin these recipes to save them for later. And I will see you guys in my next video.